So who knows about DevOps? Who knows what DevOps is or thinks they know it? Okay, who works in a shop that they believe is adhering to the DevOps way? Okay, so some people. So some people will know. You'll know it when you see it. You know, what we tell people, especially sysadmins, is lean into it. It's about the business, right? You should care because it connects what IT operations and development does to what the business needs in a way that like classical IT just couldn't get on board with, and for really good reasons in some cases, because they didn't have the tools to respond to the business need for change and also maintain availability, uptime, stability of a production environment. So my boss, John Willis, likes to blame this on Larry Wall for quotes like this: "We will encourage you to develop the 3 great virtues of a programmer: laziness, impatience, and hubris." Well, so, you know, and that's like really actually near and dear to a lot of sysadmins' hearts. Go away or I'll replace you with a very small shell script, right? Don't ask, it'll take a week, right? Obey me for I am root, right? So we have similar cultures, right? But the change in culture can really improve what's going on with the IT and the development side as it relates to attaching to the business. And it starts with leadership, behavior, communication, passion, right? So bad leadership, right? Doesn't know how bad it is, knows how bad it is, but doesn't know how to change it, or doesn't even give a damn. Good, whatever. You know, absent leadership, you have developers who quest for the holy grail, right? The feature checkboxes at all costs. They go and they seek conquest of new features. And the ops pretty much, you know, they wall themselves up and, you know, your father smells of elderberries and your mother was a hamster. So, you know, and then finally you have, well, let's try something. Let's put one op with a dev and a dev with an op and make the homeless culture mix-up approach, right? You know, that's not going to quite cut it. But if you start with behavior, where you don't demand respect, but you develop respect through communication, you don't believe that the ops is the enemy and the business is the enemy and the developers are the enemy, and you know, you're all fighting each other to achieve the same goal through fighting. Instead, you become fearless. You accept change. You lean into it. You adapt to the situation, right? You attack whatever's coming. And especially with this great sort of tongue-in-cheek duo here, you feel comfortable failing, right? You fail and you get up and you fail again until you succeed. You know, you can, the smell test, right, of communication. Where is what you're trying to communicate to the rest of the business making sense to you, right? Do all the pieces plug in, right? IT has a reasonable request to keep change down if that change is causing outages, right? Development has a reasonable request to get new features into production. The business has a new request to tell both of those groups to drop everything they're doing and change because the business needs it. So you think you might not be able to do this, you might not be able to do DevOps or this like agile approach to business and development and IT because, oh, PCI or HIPAA or some type of compliance thing. These boogeymen are wrong, right? It's a strategic move into this space. It's not haphazard or careless. It actually gives you the ability to make greater changes with less risk, and continuous deployment only works because everyone's on board with what's happening. So IT trusts that development can do releases without messing things up because they have a test harness that tests everything as they do it, right? That's part of a DevOps environment, right? And finally, you know, part of this communication is the business owes it to everyone, every player involved, to speak about the history of why they're doing what they're doing, what came before them, what's going on next. It's not okay to just have like the C-level executives with an idea of the vision of why they're doing what they're doing and the business strategy. Everyone should be involved in that, right? Even if they're not all setting it. And then finally, the coolest part about all this is everyone gets to be passionate about what they're doing and engaged and excited because they know not only are they being heard, but they're listening, right? That's why they know they're being heard, because they're all listening to each other. And if you're all listening, then you actually get that synergistic effect where everyone trusts everyone to listen to what they're saying, which allows you to bring passion into what would otherwise be really stale meetings and fearful decision making. So finally, you know, even if you're not exactly sure how to drive the ship after you take it over, you should still try it. You should still go there, take over, and see what happens. So that's my pitch for DevOps.
Right on. Great. Thank you very much.
Sure.